Have you suffered from sleep paralysis in your lifetime? On today's video, I'm going to talk to you about my experience with sleep paralysis from when I was a younger girl and how sleep paralysis itself changed the direction of what I study and my life. So let me start at the very beginning. I was 13 years old and I'm told I'm being visited by ghosts. So firstly, I was involved in an accident, and after a while of being in hospital, I was at home resting. I had certain injuries, and it was that moment that was my first ever experience with sleep paralysis. And it started with me being led there. As far as I was concerned, I was just resting my eyes, and as far as I'm concerned, fully awake, but like I say, just resting your eyes. And then all of a sudden I felt this presence in the room, and all of a sudden my body goes completely paralyzed. I couldn't move my mouth. I couldn't open my eyes. There was no part of my body that would work. And I just, like I say, had a really bad accident. And in my mind, I'm thinking, am I now paralyzed? What's happened? But I can feel this something in the room. And I'm thinking, I was, just scared, absolutely scared. And what was worse was that I was trying to scream, and I was at home and I was all alone. I was 13, like I say, and I was trying to fight this thing that was going on. So I was kind of like you can imagine, and nothing worked. My mum, later, she came back from work, and from the moment my mum walked through the door, I must have gone back to sleep, because I remember waking and just screaming and telling her. Now, my mum hadn't long lost her own mother, and she thought that it was her mum coming to look over me because of the loss of her mum, and she thought because my accident was quite severe, and she thought it was a nice thing. And I thought, because this went on, in fact it terrorized me. The thing is though, at first I thought, oh okay, that's Nan, and that still terrified me. So unfortunately the situation just got worse. It happened every single night. I'd wake up in a complete state of panic, because when I felt the release I would scream, and my poor family had to go through all of that, where it became a nightly thing. At first they thought, oh, you know, poor Trace, but it then became, Trace kept us up last night, because I was, you know, I would go to bed, like I say, it was nightly, screaming. And unbeknown to me, like I say, it was sleep paralysis. We didn't have Google search back then, and it went on for a long time in my life as well. And it got me into this whole field of how the brain can affect you as a person. So let me have a look at this a little bit further with you. So here's what's actually happening. During REM sleep, your brain naturally paralyzes your body, so you don't act out your sleep. Your consciousness wakes up before your body does, so you're caught between waking and dreaming. The ghost or demon you see, it's your brain is trying to make sense of being awake but paralyzed at the same time. So it creates these hallucinations as a way of trying to make sense what's going on. So did you know sleep paralysis spikes during exam time because of stress, anxiety, sleep disruption? Your brain was is overstimulated, just like mine was after the trauma. So my daughter, when she had her exams, it was the first time that she'd actually ever suffered from sleep paralysis. But luckily, I was able to tell her about how to get out of sleep paralysis, because it's something that we spoke about as a family. And for me, it was just relaxing. Let the feelings just go over you, just relax into it, and then you can release. So she did that, and it really helped her. She was able to do it, and she felt a lot better. And then after that, she had it probably a couple of times after the exams, and she hasn't had it now. She hasn't had it for ages, where it's kind of just gone from her life completely. So the accident didn't just hurt my body, it rewired my stress response. My brain stuck in survival mode, and sleep paralysis was the result. Once I learned the science on how to get out of sleep paralysis, everything changed. Now let me go into this in a little bit more detail rather than just relaxing. Here's how I did it. Firstly, don't fight it. The panic will make it worse. Instead, this is how it's worked for me, and it's worked for my daughter, is concentrate on slow breathing. Really slow it down, and this will actually calm your nervous system. And then focus on really small movements, such as just wiggling your finger or wiggling your toe. Really small movements after you've done the breathing. Now, I think this is really important. Just then know it's not ghosts, it's not demons trying to attack you, even though you might get that sense of it. It's just your brain. And I think if you know that at the time, it will really help you to overcome it. I went from being terrified to sleep to being fascinated by my own consciousness. What this taught me is that what we generally don't understand, we just label it as woo-woo, supernatural, rather than trying to understand even the science behind it. If you're suffering from sleep paralysis, just know you're not haunted. You're just human. Have you experienced sleep paralysis? Let me know in the comments below. So anyhow, thank you for joining me on today's video. If you would like to follow me because you like to know way more about your mind, your body, and say intuition, consciousness, then it'd be great to have you follow me and join me on my next videos. Take care for now. Bye bye.